Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Friday, July the 8th, 2022. Welcome to another eBay video. As you can see, it's still cloudy and thunderstorms are predicted later today. We're going to go inside now and I'm going to give you a rundown on the topics we're going to discuss today because it's going to be extensive. Let's go in and let's get this party started. Okay guys, before I get into this week's topics, I would like to announce, for those of you guys who haven't heard it, the passing of Larry Storch at age 99. The famous actor, probably best known as Corporal Agon on F Troop, dead at 99. I'm sure all of us grew up, or some of us grew up in the 70s, watching F Troop in reruns on Sunday mornings at 11:30 a.m. So yeah, no more Larry Storch. He will be missed. Today's eBay topics are quite a few, and I want to try and cover as many of these as I can. I want to tell you about my cheapest return ever, my July 4th weekend sales. I want to also talk about snagging fake accounts when sending out Office 2 watches, a seller who refused to cancel and got negged, troublesome Hawaii buyers. I also want to talk about people who don't pay for numerous items from you and others, and as well as potential buyers who complain about shipping before they've even made the purchase. So there's a lot to cover today, and I'm sure more things will come up. I'm going to start off, as always, with your comments, questions, and concerns from last week's video. Rubber Wilbur wrote in, Joe, I've been meaning to ask you this before, but why don't you use the automatic open unpaid item case after 3 days instead of manually doing it yourself? The reason I do auto is because it would drive me nuts for 3 days knowing I had to manually do it. Rubber Wilbur, that's a very valid question, and don't think that I don't like the idea, because I love your idea. I have been selling on eBay for 23 years, and I consider myself very well versed in just about everything eBay. But I swear to Christ on the cross, Rubber Wilbur, and everybody else, I cannot figure out how to turn it on. Periodically, I will go into my preferences and I will try and set that to be active. Just the other night I tried it, Rubber Wilbur, after I read your comment, and something's not right. Jesus. eBay, I don't understand why they make certain things so difficult to navigate. I was trying to launch this feature, and I was getting choices of letting the buyer wait 11 days to pay. I don't want them to wait 11. I don't even want them to wait 4. But I'm willing to go with the 4 because that's the shortest period eBay allows. So listen, guys, Rubber Wilbur and the rest of you, if anybody can explain to me in simple English how the Christ to navigate through your preferences to get to turn on the unpaid item assistant, please, I implore you, tell me, all right? Don't assume anything, okay? Like I said, I know just about everything there is to know about eBay. But sometimes, I got to tell you guys, they make it very difficult to navigate the site. And I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not going to pull any punches. I get very frustrated when I can't do a simple, rudimentary move like turn on the unpaid item assistant. I lose my cool very easily, okay? So if anybody can simply explain to me, I'd love you for it. Thank you. Next comment was from Duncan VR. eBay is the only site in the world where you don't have to pay the seller when you commit to buy or bid on auctions. Crazy, no other site works like this. I check all buyers before accepting offers. Like Joey stated, check their feedback left for others. No Coca-Cola this week, Joe? Duncan? I have it right here. But last week, if you remember, I was drinking Gatorade. And Duncan, I want to jump on one of the points you made. When a buyer sends us a best offer on our item and we accept it, it takes that item off the shelf for 4 days. If it's a one-of-a-kind item, it really does hurt. And it happened to me this week several times. We'll talk about that later. But eBay should implement a procedure whereas if a buyer sends us a best offer and we accept, that thing should still be live in our store so legitimate buyers could come along and buy it and actually pay. Because there are so many deadbeat bidders floating around, and I don't think you guys quite understand how frustrated some eBay sellers are. But by the time this video is over, you will. Dennis Copper wrote, sales this week jumped back to normal. Still going strong. I had a buyer on eBay ask me a question. They got blocked first. I review the question with my coworkers. We decide to look at the feedback they left for other sellers. All positive, but one negative. Looks good, right? Think again, wise one. Upon further inspection of their positives, I see complaint after complaint. What the heck? This to me is equal to a negative in which I would not sell to this bad buyer. Block and crickets. No whiners. Now, Black Lotus Boutique wrote a reply to Dennis Copper's comment that I want to read. You're right. Good thing you checked. It's a shame you have to do your own investigation work, but eBay really has it backwards when it comes to best offers and people not paying. Everyone should be made to pay. It's no different when you go to the flea market. Pony up if you want it. No one's going to hold an item, otherwise it will go to the next best offer, but eBay makes it a guaranteed sale, so eBay should enforce the guaranteed payment. Very, very good. I agree totally. Michelle Murnock wrote, you are so right, Joe. Not every buyer is the right buyer. And yes, the right buyer will come along. I vet all offers now, thanks to you and Dennis Copper's advice. You guys know your stuff when it comes to dealing with deadbeat buyers. My peace of mind is more important than any buyer's money. Once again, thanks for doing your videos and being no nonsense and straight to the point. Thank you for that. The last comment is going to be from eCurb. False positives? I think it's fair game. I've heard from many sellers who get unwarranted negatives, and when they try and get them removed, eBay tells them it's the buyer's opinion, so they won't remove it. If that's the case, anything you write in the buyer's feedback is the seller's opinion. And eCurb is responding to the topic I spoke of last week, where I think I even showed you numerous sellers leaving false positives for this one deadbeat bidder. And some of you asked if there's a 3 strikes and you're out policy on eBay, meaning if you fail to pay for 3 items, they give you the boot. No. You cannot pay for as many items as you want on eBay and nothing will happen. I hate coming out here and saying this, but that's the truth. Before I get on to all the topics that I read to you earlier, another thought just came into my head. Also, I don't know if you can see this, but look behind me. We're actually having a peak of sunlight. I'm really shocked. They said heavy thunderstorms coming. All right, but anyway, I had either 2 or 3 people write to me this week through the eBay contact system complaining that they're trying to buy my items and I have blocked them. In each case, I looked at the buyer's user ID and I plugged it into the eBay contact system to see what kind of problems these people had given me in the past. And basically, I bet none of you guys ever have this happen. I have a small amount of buyers who are sort of like freight forwarders, but not. What they do is they like to buy items cheap from me. And then they ship them overseas to Saudi Arabia. And they sell them for a crazy amount of money. Now, I have no problem with that at all. Everybody's got to eat and everyone has to make money. But the problem that I've had with these people, some of them, is that they'll offer me a lowball offer. I'll say, okay, sure enough. Will you pay for the item today? Yes, I will, Joe. Lower that price, I'll pay for the item. I lower the price manually so they can't sting me, and they don't pay for the item. They don't buy it. Okay? So I just worked for nothing. I then raised the price the next day to the normal amount, and I blocked them because they gave me their word, their solemn word that they would pay, and they didn't. And that is the worst thing to do to me. If you give me your word, by God, you better keep it. Because if I give you my word, I'm going to keep it. Anyway, these people are complaining why they can't buy my stuff. And they'll never get unblocked. Absolutely never. Depending on the mood I'm in, sometimes I respond to them and I tell them why. I say, you did not keep your word and I will never sell to you as long as I live on the earth. And don't think about starting a fake account so you can circumvent the block because I will cancel the order. Sometimes I give them crickets. All right, let's get on to some new topics. I'm going to start with a kind of amusing story. My cheapest return ever in my life. The last few weeks, I've had no returns at all. But just yesterday, I got a notice of a return. What makes it different than anything I've ever dealt with before is the amount of the return. In the past, I think my cheapest return was $20. And I've always told you guys that the items that are $20 cause me the most problems versus my $100 and $200 items. So I'm going to show you something right now. I have to get up because true to form, I pulled one item out but not the other. But 1 second. I'm back. Okay. Now, these are not the exact items, but I chose these for size. I want you to look at the size of the items. This little baby right here is 2 inches across. And this is what the customer bought for $9 plus $6.75 shipping. Okay? The person had 0 feedback. So I think you know where this is going. The person gets the item, and in the return request says wrong size doesn't fit. That's fine, he's being honest. And he writes that he wanted something approximately this size. Now, guys, how could anyone make that mistake? I had the part number listed. All he had to do was look at the back of one of his, check the part number, see if it was right. But no, he didn't do it. But the point I'm trying to make here is not that. The point is he's losing money by sending it back. He's only going to get $9 back. Who returns a $9 item when it's going to cost $13 total shipping both ways? Somebody in eBay Motors would do it and is doing it. And he's definitely going through with it because I got the notification today that he already dropped it in the mail. Next time I want to talk really quickly about is my July 4th weekend sales. I was very concerned that July the 4th was going to be dead, like I told you guys last week. So let me tell you what I did ahead of time to try and spur sales. Number 1, I ran a store-wide sale with 10% off using Markdown Manager. Number 2, I had best offer on all my items, and I was accepting all reasonable offers. A reasonable offer sometimes could be $75 on a $100 item. I can drop 25% and still make a good profit. One really unreasonable offer came in, which really insulted me to the point that I blocked the guy immediately. I had a hot item for $150. He sent me an offer of $25. To me, that's an insult. And I not only declined it, but I blocked him forever and ever, amen. And this person had feedback of 1,500, so he knew what he was doing. I also sent out approximately 130 offers to watchers. Out of the 130, I think I received between 8 and 10 positive responses, meaning maybe, let's just say, 7 people accepted my offer. They clicked accept offer. And then 3 people sent me a counter offer to the offer I sent them. So that's considered a positive response in the vernacular. So now out of those 10 or so people, I think 7 of them paid up. 7 out of 10 paid, which I was happy with. The other 3 dicked me over royally. However, I was very thankful that all 3 were magicians, meaning I never heard or saw them again. They disappeared. But I want to touch on one particular account, if I may, because this is the second time this has happened to me. You can't see who you're sending offers to. It's on the blind. And there are a lot of fake, dangerous accounts out there. And for the second time, I've hooked on, I'm going to call it a Chinese account, for lack of a better word, because it's an account that's been established years ago, never had any activity on it whatsoever. And they always have these letters. Take a look at this. HNCX. All right? Now, normally on the account, it would say John Smith, and then under it, the account name, let's say John Smith 27. Anytime you see those letters, look out. Look out. It's the second time it's happened to me, and both times I got burned by magicians. So, I want to show you my sales. I'm going to show you my sales for the July 4th weekend, which was 3 days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. This is what I posted in some of the Facebook groups. This is the actual amount I made. I want you to see this. It was an excellent weekend, one of my best in my life. Very happy, no complaints. All right. Now, next item I want to talk about is Hawaii buyers. I'm seriously thinking about excluding Hawaii. I don't know. I haven't had any problems with Puerto Rico. I know some of you guys say you have, but I'm seriously thinking, I don't know if I can exclude just Hawaii or whether I can exclude, or whether I have to exclude both, which I don't want to do. But the problem with Hawaii is the shipping is very, very expensive. And I always lose money. Most of my items are in a 17 by 17 by 8 inch box. So let's use California as an example. If I'm going to ship a 17 by 17 by 8 that weighs about 15 pounds to California, I can get it done UPS for around no more than 25, tops 30 bucks. Whereas the post office is going to charge $50, maybe $60. I can't afford it. I'm not charging that kind of money in shipping, all right? Now, the only time this becomes a problem is when a Hawaii buyer enters the fray. I have this preset. I have the prices preset for UPS because they're very reasonable. But UPS is astronomical to Hawaii, so I can't use them. So I have to default to the post office, and they're expensive to Hawaii. All right? And I got stung again last week, but that's not the fault of the buyer. That's the fault of me. But what I want to tell you is this. I had an item that was preset, a single hub, to $15.96, which is the 3-pound rate to California. The price of the item was $22.50 plus the shipping. It's a dog item. So I get a buyer from Hawaii, and he has the audacity to send me a best offer of $10. When I saw he was from Hawaii, I refused it faster than you can think because the shipping alone is going to cost me extra money. All right? Declined. I didn't block him. A few minutes later, he sends me an offer for $15. I don't want that either. All right? I declined. He then sends me a third offer, $17.50. And he writes, luckily I looked at this, he writes in the love note, come on, meet me halfway. Oh, and by the way, this offer is based on the fact that this wheel cover will fit my car to my satisfaction. Your satisfaction? He basically held up a sign that said, block me. That's what he did. He literally held up a sign that said, block me. I blocked him. The story's not over. You think the story would be over? It's not. Then, the next day, he somehow found my business website and sent me a request through the website for that same hub, offering me $20. I responded to him with crickets. Guys, one thing about eBay Motors, you will never be bored selling them. I want to now move on to the feeling in the seller community regarding Deadbeat Bitters and the fact that eBay is not doing anything about it. I'm going to show you a screenshot on my phone from a post that was made the other day in one of the Facebook groups. This is something that's been increasing in nature like crazy. I'm going to read it to you, I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to discuss it, okay? Okay, this was written by a seller about an experience he had with a deadbeat bidder. Listen carefully. This buyer proceeded to negotiate with me on 4 separate items. Wanted deals on all of them. Gave her discounts on everything. She was very responsive during negotiations. After I accepted, poof, gone like a fart. Oh, something just sold. I'm in the middle of reading, so I'm not going to dance. I'm sorry, I don't want to lose my train of thought. After I accepted, poof, gone like a fart in the wind with no payments. I emailed her a day later, and she said she'd pay by Wednesday. This is not a new eBayer. Been on eBay since 2011. I patiently waited 4 days with my items not being posted for anybody else to buy. Yup, you guessed it, she didn't pay for any of it. All postings auto-closed. She wasted my time, and her 100% positive feedback means nothing. If you want to save yourself possible trouble, block her like I did. This is the post I'll hold it up for a few seconds. That is the post that was made in one of the eBay groups. I read all the responses, and I don't think any of you guys jumped in. I didn't see any names I recognized from my subscribers, but most of the people felt like the original poster. We as sellers are frustrated. I mean, dealing with deadbeats is part of selling on eBay. I'm not complaining about that per se. I get it. But what I am complaining about is that they're given carte blanche to do it numerous times, and eBay refuses to sanction repeat deadbeat bidders. I'm not talking about someone who may have forgotten a payment. I don't want to hear any of that. I'm talking about the kinds I've showed you week after week, the repeats. And it's frustrating good sellers that our stuff is off the shelf and unavailable to serious buyers, because we all work hard and we're all serious about this. What did surprise me was there were a few people who basically copped a different attitude, saying things like, don't let it bother you. Just open the unpaid item case after 4 days and move on. Don't worry about it. Let eBay handle it. And I'm not talking about 1 or 2 people. I'm talking maybe 4 or 5 different people copping that attitude, which I found weird. All right? What I'd like to hear from you guys regarding that story is, tell us how you would feel if you had a customer message you to give you good deals on 4 of your items. 4 different items, 4 different listings, single items that you know you can sell, on their own, and she doesn't pay you for anything. Would you be very frustrated and pissed off like the poster I showed you? Or would you say, don't worry about it. It doesn't bother me a bit. I'd like to hear from you on that. All right, one more topic. I know we're running a little late here today, guys, but there's just a lot to talk about. Shipping complaints. This is a true story that happened to me the other day. I have an item that's brand new for $20. Brand freaking new. I bought a container a couple of years ago. You know what a container is? For those of you who don't, if you go to Port Newark, you see the ships have these huge containers on them. Usually they're transported by the Mazurk line, okay? And they're taken off with the crane and they're put on backs of 18-wheelers. That's a container, all right? If you ever are given the choice to buy a container of an item that you know will sell, you can usually get a super good price, but you better have places to store it. Anyway, I bought a container of this one particular hub. All the same, brand new, current year. I knew I'd have to sit on them a while, all right? So I'm selling them on eBay for, I think, $20 each if you're buying just one. But if you're buying 2, 3, I have quantity discount enabled. So let's say 2 would be $19. 3 would be $18 each. 4 would be $17 each. Get it? Okay? And I'm prorating the shipping as well. So I get this guy, sends me a best offer of $15 each. He wants to buy 2. I refused it. If he would have bought 2, the way I had it set up, he could have got them for $19 each, which is cheap enough. There's only one other eBay seller who's got these, all right? And he's a little bit cheaper than me. So hopefully this guy found him after what I'm going to tell you. So I declined his offer. That in itself is not a problem. It doesn't bother me a bit. What upset me was 10 minutes later, he writes to me through the eBay contact system. And he says, why is your shipping so expensive? It doesn't cost that much to ship 2 plastic hubs. And of course, you want to take a guess where he lives? Washington State. Wait a minute, I could even read it to you. What am I doing? I'm going by my memory when I can read this. I saved the screenshot. Let me find it. You guys, okay. Here's what the buyer wrote exactly. Why is the shipping so expensive? It doesn't cost that much to ship 2 1-pound cover plates. Now let me tell you something. I do this for a living. Shipping is 3 pounds each. Trust Joey. Trust cute Joey. All right? I wrote back to him. These are my exact words, and I'll show you if you don't believe me. Don't worry about that, because I just blocked you. Get them from somebody out in Washington State. How does that sound? Then he wrote back, LOL, sounds like a plan. Enjoy shipping wheel caps for a living. My point about this is that had I accepted his offer at the very beginning, I would have run smack into a problem because he was complaining about the shipping after I declined his offer. So yeah, guys, I know I kept you a long time today, but I feel it's necessary. There was a lot for us to talk about. That being said, remember, I'm Crazy New York Driver and you're not. Thank you for watching this video. Every Friday night I come out here and I make these videos to try and help you stay successful as an eBay seller. If you think I'm doing a good job, please leave me a thumbs up. It tells me I'm on point and appreciated. If you don't think I did a good job, tell me in the comments section what you want me to hit up, and I'll be glad to try and address it next week. Please respond to any or all of the topics I brought up today. A lot of important stuff going on in the eBay community. And, oh, by the way, a couple of other things. I'm opening my soda first. I'll talk more about this next week, but July 20th is when eBay is going to open the registration for the 3 in-person events. The 3 in-person events being here in New York City is 1. Number 2 is Austin, Texas. Number 3 is California, I believe Los Angeles. If you're in any one of those 3 cities, please attend the event. I'll talk more about it next week when I have more info. But I can tell you the registration opens July 20th. Please, if you're going to contact me with any questions, comments, or concerns, you can do it here, or you can email me at crazynewyorkdriver@aol.com, spelled the same way as I do on the channel here. If you try and contact me any other way, you're getting crickets, because I have a business to run, and that's what comes first. All right? Please respect that. Thank you for watching. Rock on and peace!